Hello witches, happy Saturday. I'm Deb and I'm here to talk to you about sigil magic. So, what is sigil magic? Sigil magic is an effective and simple way to incorporate both sympathetic and chaos magic into your daily practice. What are sympathetic and chaos magics, you ask? Good question. Sympathetic magic is like attracts like. Sympathetic magic is going to be when you light that green candle because you're calling in a new job. Sympathetic magic is going to be when you burn those bay leaves in a banishing ritual and you watch your fears and your doubts and your insecurities vanish in a puff of smoke. Sympathetic magic is going to be your oils, it's going to be your herbs, it's going to be your poppets, it's going to be your candles. Sympathetic magic is anything used to represent a specific person, place, thing, or energy. Chaos magic, on the other hand, is similar to eclectic witchcraft in the idea that there is really no right or wrong way to do your magic. But it differs in the idea that where a witch will often call in different elemental spirits or they will call in deity to help assist them in their working, a chaos magician relies wholly on the power of themselves. A chaos magician will enter an altered state of consciousness while performing a rite, and that altered state of consciousness is known as gnosis. When a chaos magician enters gnosis, they have the ability to manipulate the world around them and to control the energies. And that is how they create change, and that is how they create their magic. The power of the chaos magician lies within themselves. So a sigil by definition is a symbol believed to have magical powers. So you can see how a sigil would tie into sympathetic magic in the idea that it is an intention put into symbol form. But where does chaos magic tie into that? So chaos magic is actually in very large part responsible for the accessibility of modern sigil witchcraft. Before chaos magic really brought it forward, sigils were shrouded in secrecy and used in a lot of closed traditions and kind of had a bad rep. They were intimidating for a lot of people, but then thanks to the father of chaos magic, Austin Osman Spare, sigils became accessible. So let's get into sigils themselves. Again, a sigil is a symbol believed to have a magical power. So with witchcraft, a sigil is the witch's intention condensed into a symbol. So how do we create sigils? That's the question everyone wants to know. There are so many ways to create sigils. I personally prefer the strikeout method. Sorry about that. It's a little late. This is probably the simplest method of creating a sigil. There are a lot of other ways. Feel free to hop on Google and type in how to create a sigil, and you'll find hundreds of ways to create a sigil, and do what feels right for you. But again, I use the strike through method, and in combination with my own personal symbology. So in this video, I'll be showing you how to create a sigil with the strikeout method, and then we will discuss how to charge your sigil and how to activate your sigil. So, let's get started, shall we? Just kidding. Before we get started with actually creating the sigil, I figured it's probably a pretty good idea to tell you a couple of really important facts about how and why to create the sigil. So, magic works because of the emotional attachment that the practitioner has to the desired outcome. So when we are working with sigil magic, it's very important to know what you want. Know what you want in no uncertain terms. And once you know what you want, then we can move forward. The second most important part of creating a sigil is to make sure that you word your affirmation in the present. And I guess I didn't even tell you about that. So what do I mean by word your affirmation in present tense? I mean, to create a sigil with a strikeout method, we're going to be starting with a clarified statement. A clarified statement is a short and sweet and condensed version of your intention. So let's say you want to create a sigil for protection. You could create a sigil for just general protection, as in I am protected, or you could get a little bit more specific and be I am protected from psychic attacks. I am protected from robbery. I am protected from creepy dudes putting roofies in my drinks. That's a long one, but you could do it. And actually, I highly suggest it because people are creepy, unfortunately. Anyways, so let's begin with a clarified sentence. For simplicity, we will be working with my own clarified sentence and statement of my home is a place of love and compassion. So let's really get started. When using the strikeout method, it is just as simple as it sounds, and that's probably the main reason I love it. It's super easy and you can create a sigil basically on a whim. So when using the strikeout method, you begin with writing out your clarified statement. From there, you go through and you cross out all of the vowels. This is A, E, I, O, U. You can decide if you want to keep or strike out Y. I personally keep Y as I like the aesthetic that it gives to my sigils. Once you have stricken out all of the vowels, you take your remaining consonants and you strike out any doubles. There you go. Now, with these letters, you begin to create your sigil. And the way you do that is you layer them and play with the shapes until you find a shape that you like. You do not have to keep them uppercase. You can use lowercase letters. You can make them sideways. You can make them upside down. You can stylize them however you want. So now I will go ahead and create a couple of designs from these letters and see if I find one that I like. Now activation, this is the fun part. In order to activate your sigil, you can do one of two things. The first thing is to destroy it. That's right. Destroy your sigil. You can light it on fire, you can bury it, you can throw it in the ocean, you can flush it down the toilet, you can rip it up into 100 pieces and blow it off a cliff somewhere. But you destroy it, and in the destruction of your sigil, the powers are released into the universe. The second thing you can do is you can hide it somewhere. This is also a really, it's effective. It's just as effective as destroying your sigil. But the power in sigil magic lies in forgetting, and it lies in letting the subconscious create your reality. So say you're doing something like mine, where I'm bringing in love and compassion into my household. I could light it on fire, which is probably what I'll do, because I'm not going to lie, lighting things on fire is awesome. Please use a fire-safe container. Or you can hide it. You can put it in a book, in a bookshelf, or you can put it between your mattresses, or you can put it under your pillow, or you can write it in lipstick on your mirror. You can do anything. You can really do anything with it and put it anywhere. But putting it down and forgetting about it is when the activation happens. So that's all I've got for tonight. Hopefully this video wasn't an entirely hot mess. I know it's a little bit long, and my future ones will not be so long, so thank you for sticking it out if you've stuck it out so far, and I hope to see you guys, well, I hope you guys see me next Saturday, where we will be starting to discuss personal symbology. So, yeah, blessed